I've been a long-time Pixel Buds user since the first generation back in 2018. I subsequently upgraded to the Pixel Buds second generation in 2020 and have used them for hundreds of hours ever since. However, the recently launched Pixel Buds Pro with their noise cancelling features and transparency mode addressed two of my biggest issues and inspired me to upgrade. With that in mind, I had to try them. In this video, I detail my experience upgrading from the Pixel Buds second generation to the Pixel Buds Pro and explore the technology used from a tech enthusiast's point of view. I've been a big fan of my Pixel Buds second generation earphones ever since they were released. The small form factor, the smart touch controls, plus the seamless integration with my Pixel phone and Google Assistant have been great. However, two improvements I've always wanted was the addition of noise cancelling technology and also better performance for voice calls. My everyday use for my Pixel Buds includes listening to music, podcasts and YouTube videos on walks and driving, plus all of the above while doing housework. As the parent of two young kids in a noisy household, having the ability to pop in some earphones and find some solitude is a boon. However, while doing housework, I'll often be using appliances or power tools that make a lot of noise, and the older generation Pixel Buds are unusable without turning up the volume to uncomfortable and potentially harmful levels for my eardrums. When it comes to my concerns around voice calls, it's not actually the microphone and drivers in earphones that are at issue. While not true IEM or in-ear monitors, the Pixel Buds do sit in the ear canal to a degree that blocks out a lot of external sound. When using them and speaking, it gives the user that weird submersed effect where you can hear your own voice resonating very deeply and more prominently. The effect is created by your ears not being able to hear your voice externally, but instead picking up the sound waves through the vibrations in your jawbone and skull. But more on that later. With all of the above in mind, I had high hopes for the Pixel Buds Pro. When unboxing the Pixel Buds Pro, you'll notice the design of the case is very similar to the second generation earphones. However, on closer inspection, the size of the case is ever so slightly wider. Opening the case, the first big differences are obvious with the earbuds themselves and the inside of the case, with the bigger, deeper receptacles for the earbuds and the slightly different metal contacts. There are a myriad of less obvious updates I'll cover off later, plus some existing ones from the older generation of Pixel Buds. As before, both earbuds have capacitive touch shells that enable you to manually control playback and manage non-verbal interactions with Google Assistant. There's also a handy IR proximity sensor for each earbud for in-ear detection, so you can set the audio to play and pause automatically depending on whether they're in your ear or not. Each earbud also features 3 microphones as well as a piezoelectric voice accelerometer. It's the combination of the microphones and the accelerometer that facilitate the noise cancelling feature and also produce high quality audio for calls and voice commands for Google Assistant. I'll talk about this more in depth later in the video. For voice pickup, the voice accelerometer in conjunction with one or more of the microphones enables the earbuds to hear you speak clearly regardless of the background noise. This is especially important considering how far the sound has to travel from your mouth to the earbud. The technology enables the possibility of designing these tiny earbuds without compromising audio quality. The piezoelectric voice accelerometer inside each earbud picks up the vibration of the user's voice through the skull and jawbone. The vibrations are converted into data that can be used by the processor to electronically pass out background noise. The end result enables high quality audio for the listener in nearly any environment. While I don't own the Pixel Buds Series A, it's worth comparing the features to the Pixel Buds Pro. The main differences being shorter battery life, the missing clever voice accelerometer technology, the missing Bluetooth multipoint feature, no noise cancelling or transparency mode, and no wireless charging. When it comes to using the Pixel Buds Pro, the first thing I noticed was that I actually find the fit a little looser than the Pixel Buds second generation. Everyone's ear is going to be different, but for me at least, I noticed that instead of the snug fit of the second generation Pixel Buds, the larger Pro Buds have more wiggle room. It's not the end of the world, and with the help of 3 different sized ear tips, I just found it took manipulating them to find a more secure position. After finding a good position, the next step is to run the new audio diagnostic tool. Pixel Buds Pro uses Silent Seal to adapt to your ear to help maximise the amount of noise that's cancelled. What's more, the built-in hardware sensors measure the pressure in your ear canal to make sure you're comfortable, even during long listening sessions. The net result is alleviating the plugged ear feeling that you can experience using other earbuds. The touch controls are the same as the previous generations of Pixel Buds with one exception. If you're not familiar with the controls, here's a quick overview of the feature. Swipe forward raises the volume. Swipe backward lowers the volume. Single tap will play or pause audio or answer an incoming phone call. Double tap will skip to the next track or reject an incoming phone call. Triple tap will go back a track, and touch and hold will activate the assistant. The new addition to the controls, exclusive to the Pixel Buds Pro, is being able to customize the touch and hold function. Now you can choose which earbud can control the noise cancelling feature and whether it cycles between off or transparency mode, which I cover off more in the next section of this video. The microphones use the same or similar beamforming technology as the second generation Pixel Buds. It's unclear from the available information, but in theory one or both of the external microphones working in conjunction with the internal microphone are being used. For those interested, the way the technology works is sampling the external sounds in the near vicinity of your earbuds and use the data to suppress unwanted sound before playback in the earphone drivers. Using the new custom 6-core DSP or digital signal processing audio chip that runs the Google developed algorithms, the tech cancels out the extraneous sound through a process called destructive interference. This is the creation of inverse sound waves for the unwanted sound, played back simultaneously to cancel them out. The end result is the process isolates just the music or audio the wearer wants to hear and none of the background noise. Using the array of microphones, transparency mode is the feature that enables sound to travel through the earbud, much like having open-backed headphones. Instead of having a soundproof seal to block out the errant background noise, even with noise cancelling off, transparency mode enables external sound to be heard clearly. This is great for environments where you still want to be able to hear your name being called for a coffee in a cafe, for example. But more specifically, transparency mode is great for phone calls. If you've ever had to use a headset or enclosed headphones with a microphone for a voice call, you'll know how disconcerting it is to hear your own booming voice when you talk. Transparency mode alleviates that by letting environmental sounds pass through the earbuds as if you're having a call on your mobile phone to your ear. It makes you feel much less self-conscious. To achieve the effect, transparency mode seems to be using an external earbud microphone to feed forward audio through the main earbud drivers to your ear. Essentially, it's recording the external audio and then playing it back instantaneously. The earbuds are still quite good at blocking out a lot of external sound even without noise cancelling because of the close fit in the ear canal. Using the technology to pass through the external sound is a very clever workaround to the physical limitations. One feature I was particularly pleased to discover was the ability to use my second-gen Pixel Buds with my Google TV. It was a surprise to me when I learned about the feature and I found it fun to pass on the knowledge ever since. Now with the added active noise cancelling, it further improves the experience of being able to watch TV and movies at night without disturbing the rest of the house. Taking this further, one new Pixel Buds Pro feature that really comes into its own is the Bluetooth multipoint setting. Normally, if you want to use your Bluetooth earphones with different devices, you have to disconnect and reconnect them manually in the settings. However, with multipoint setting turned on, the Pixel Buds Pro can now be connected to two Bluetooth-enabled devices at the same time. For me, this means I can have my earbuds connected to my phone and the TV at the same time. Pressing pause on the Google TV and then taking a call or watching a video on my phone seamlessly, the earbuds will switch devices without any further interaction. Battery life of the Pixel Buds Pro is improved over the second generation Pixel Buds. The performance gets better when not using the noise cancelling for obvious reasons. The bigger earphone case and larger earbud design house bigger batteries. Even with the active noise cancellation on continually, you'll get 11 hours of active listening time on the buds, with a total of 20 hours with noise cancelling turned on. What I can tell you from personal experience is that this seems to be consistent with my second generation Pixel Buds during their lifetime. In my more limited time with the Pixel Buds Pro, I can say I've noticed that I've had to charge them less often, but will continue to monitor their performance and trust Google's own marketing. Charging is managed via USB-C compatible power supply, or wirelessly using key charging capability. I personally use my Pixel stand charger, and in a little idiosyncratic touch, which amuses me, you have to turn the case upside down to make it work. It's not the end of the world, but just a minor quirk aesthetically if you care about the details. Just like the Pixel phones, you can quick charge the Pixel Buds Pro. 15-minute charge of earbuds in the charging case delivers up to 3 hours of listening time, or an estimated 2 hours of talk time. A 5-minute charge of the earbuds in the charging case delivers up to 1 hour of listening time and 50 minutes of talk time. General sound reproduction to my untrained ears is great. If I had any complaints, there's probably a little too much bass for me personally, and it would be nice to be able to tweak the equalizer settings just like a Google Home speaker. Unfortunately, there are no manual EQ controls. I find the noise cancelling works perfectly for me. I can be in various noisy environments and all of the distractions are effectively removed. Like all similar implementations of the technology, it works very well at cancelling out the low, repetitive frequencies such as aeroplane cabin noise or fans. Where it struggles a little more is the higher, less predictable frequencies such as people's voices. Even then, the high frequency sounds are muted and much less noticeable than not using the noise cancelling feature. In my own day-to-day use, I was able to listen to music and podcasts in more situations than before, such as cleaning my cars with a pressure washer and washing the dishes, and still clearly hear the audio. When using transparency mode, exterior noises sound artificial due to the feed-forward microphones and drivers channeling sound from outside to your ear canal. There's a very subtle but perceptible hiss when you're not playing audio, like you're listening to your surroundings through a headset microphone. However, most of the time you'll be playing music or podcasts, so it's not a big issue. Having said that, the difference between using transparency mode and not using transparency mode is noticeable. The feature is definitely a welcome addition for those situations where you need to be more aware of your surroundings. When it comes to touch controls, I do happen to find them a little less responsive than my second gen Pixel Buds. My impression is the sensor area has been reduced to accommodate the new microphones. As a habitual user of second gen Pixel Buds, I now find myself tapping more than once on numerous occasions to compensate when I miss. It's a minor issue which after prolonged use I'll get used to. When used for calling, the people I speak to say my voice is clear and there's minimal background noise, even in slightly busier locations. The combination of the microphones and the voice accelerometer do their jobs admirably, and I'm confident I don't have to abandon the earphones even for important calls. I was keen to find out how the new earphones did with some of Google's other related features too. I performed some cursory tests of the live translation features for my Pixel 6 Pro using the earphones. Teething issues aside, with some dialect challenges and mistranslation, it works. There's a noticeable delay between the text generated and repeating it back as audio in my earbud, but that's probably more to do with the software rather than the hardware. The final note on using the Pixel Buds Pro is the comfort. I actually find the slightly looser fit better for long-term use than the second gen Pixel Buds. Usually after a few hours I notice my ears can get a little sore and I experience some relief taking them out. The Pixel Buds Pro are much more comfortable after prolonged use. The different ear tips should help all users find a good fit, but the bigger size of the Pros and the different way they sit in your ear definitely lend themselves to better comfort. I'm a big fan of the Pixel Buds Pro. I was already a big fan of the second generation Pixel Buds, and I'm pleased to find that the Pro version really is an upgrade. The noise cancelling and transparency features are the highlights, but the longer battery life and improved comfort are also well received. I'm also pleased with the inclusion of the Multipoint Bluetooth for my own setup, which provides even more convenience. I would like more control over the equalizer settings, and while volume EQ feels like a handy feature to have, manual control would be much better, especially as creating the best audio experience can be very subjective. Overall, if you're looking to upgrade from the second generation Pixel Buds or from the Pixel Buds Series A, I definitely recommend the Pixel Buds Pro. Thank you for watching, and as always, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content on the connected home and personal technology.